Good afternoon, church. Thank you, Pastor Tayo and Monica, for this invite. Where is Coach Ify? That was an amazing start to this, actually, because there's really nothing you can get done without a change in mindset. Yeah? So I'm going to ask us a couple of questions to just get us started, right? How many of you believe that productivity, which is the theme of today's service, how many of us believe that productivity is how much work you can get done within a certain time frame? If you believe that, please raise your hand. Please own your hand. I need your hand to come. Thank you. All right, awesome. So let's look at two scenarios, right? You have an entrepreneur that is hustling. Every day the person goes out, and then the person comes back every day doing, but the bank balance at the end of the month is crying for help. Would you say that entrepreneur is productive? Yes or no? Please say it so that we can. Okay, if we believe that the entrepreneur is productive, even though there is nothing to show for it, okay. If you believe that the person is not productive, please show of hands. Okay, we're not sure yet. Okay, it's fine. And this is amazing because that was why I was happy about the first topic. Yeah, because we do have a mindset about productivity that may not be serving us well. And that's why I led with that question. Even as a career person, you go to the office every day. And we are church, we're in church, and one of the limiting beliefs that we may have as churchgoers is that when you get to the workplace, you need to act demure. Don't fight for money. Like, just come to the office, do your work, and Jesus always rewards, right? Okay. So sometimes you also find yourself in that situation where they are cheating you. But you're not doing anything about it because we have a mindset that we need to be calm, we need to be, what's the word? Is there something? Oh. We need to be calm, we need to mind our business, and we just need to, Jesus will reward us. Okay, so like we all rightly said, mindset is important. Mama said that. Even Sister Gbemi hinted on it with ethical conduct. So now that we know that we may have mindsets that we need to change, the question is, how do we go about it? So this is where we are now. We're in point A. How do we go to point B? That's what I hope to try to help us get there. And if you know me, you know it's going to be practical. So if you have a pen and a paper, please bring it out. If you don't have a pen and a paper and you have your phone, we'll use it. Now, for those of us that have a pen and a paper, please divide that paper into 3 parts. So we're going to look at 3 aspects. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Okay. Are we ready? Okay. Now, what are we trying to do? The overall goal is to be productive, right? But before you can be productive, you have to be doing something, right? And it has to be, well, for lack of a better word, it has to be meaningful, right? So even one of the things I used to tell people that work with me, when they start to drop the ball, I'm like, Jesus was an excellent person. What are you talking about? If you say you are a child of God, there must be something different about the way you do work. You can't tell me that the reason why you missed a meeting was because you had church service. The meeting was for the working hours. You committed to this. It doesn't matter whether it's convenience or not. I think sometimes that's another mistake that we make. We think that because, we have this notion that, and I might be shaking some tables, Pastor, sorry. We have this notion that because it is church, then when it comes to the office becomes, it's like not giving Caesar what belongs to Caesar. I don't think that's how God wants us to be. I don't think so. If you committed to 9 to 5 and you said you were going to be showing up 9 to 5, you have to show up 9 to 5. And in the event whereby the office now does something at 8 p.m., that's a separate conversation. Then you can negotiate your way out of it. But we also need to be aware that Jesus was excellent. There was time to pray. There was time to heal. There was time to rebuke. And there was time to ask God, are you sure that this our plan is working? And for me, I feel like Jesus' life was just a perfect example of what we go through as human beings. It doesn't paint a rosy life of abundance, but it also does not paint a life of sadness and misery and abject whatever, right? So what we want to do today is to find out what is that thing that we need to be productive on? What is that thing that we need to be proficient on? What is that thing that we need that is going to give us profit? And when we say profitability, I know everybody's excited thinking is money. Money is there, and my belief is that money always follows value. I'm a living proof of it. Money always follows value. We think money is such a big deal. No, it's not. Money always follows value. Mark my words. So the question is, what is that thing of value that you have? And that's what we want to find out today. So first question, we want to find out what we are proficient on. My first question is, when you think about yourself, right? When you think about Sikemi, when you think about Pastor Shay, when you think about Emmanuel, when you think about Regina, I want you to write 3 things. What are you naturally good at? Question 1. What do people come to you for? Whether it is for free or it is paid. What do people come to you for? And what is it that is easy for you that is difficult for others? So it's just 3 prompts to help us to reflect. But try and write 3 things. So first one is, what are you naturally good at? Second one is, what do people come to you for? And the third one is, what do you find easy that others find difficult? You might not know, Sha, but what do you find easy? My brother is not writing. Okay. Do we have our 3 things? All right. Can you exchange your answer with your neighbor? Tell them what you wrote and ask them if they agree. I should come to you. I should come and exchange mine with you. Have we done that? You're not happy with your neighbor? Ask her now. Ask her what she thinks. Oh, she may not know you, right? Okay, that's possible. Is there anybody that knows you that you can swap with? You can stand up, please. If your neighbor you have not finished bonding with your neighbor, you can stand up and find somebody else that knows you and just double check that they agree with what you've written. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You are very good at convincing people to do something. That is a skill, right? You are very good in chaos. When everybody is shouting and everybody's raising their hand up, you are just level-headed. That's something. You are not ruffled easily, right? You are always the one people come to for relationship advice. Is this person pure? Is this person not pure? Am I the one that is being excessive? You are very good at selling things. You can wake up today, arrange 2 bottles together, pour something inside, and people pay. That is something. Right? Are we good? All right. Was anybody surprised at what the feedback they got? Was anybody surprised at the feedback they got from the other person? Okay. Who wants to share the 3 things that they wrote down? I'll come to you. Okay.
I think I'm naturally good at teaching and explaining. I think people come to me for clarity and understanding. I find it easy to understand things and also to teach things.
Awesome.
Sorry. I put editing, like copy editing, and people naturally come to me for counsel. And what comes to me is critical evaluation and editing as well.
All right, awesome. Thank you. One more. Pastor, we kind of know, but...
Okay, talking about what I, in terms of values and what's productive about me. Okay, breaking down God's word and ministering the word, details and observations, researching, political analysis, football analysis. And I think what people come to me for, prophetic word. And wisdom and counseling. What I find easy that others may find difficult, I don't easily throw in the towel.
Amazing. And I've picked up on the research one. Sometimes when you're preaching and you're talking about the history of it, I'm like, oh, more, you have energy. Can I have somebody on this side? Please share. Thank you.
I'm naturally good at sleeping and solving problems for others. People come to me to solve problems and for seamless execution of tasks.
Awesome. Sleep is not being so. Some people cannot find sleep easy.
Okay, what do you like doing? What I like doing, I like solving issues, prepare solutions. And then what people come to me for, solution and way forward. And then I don't dwell on issues. I rather find a solution. So.
Amazing. One last person. There you are.
Okay, so I naturally like talking and gisting. Yeah, so people come to me for advice on how to approach things, approach faculty at my place of work. And I really know how to convince them to get them to do what they have to do.
Amazing. A round of applause for everybody. So what's interesting about this exercise is that because you're not doing this under a title called data analyst, teacher, pastor, lead something, it's not conscious. We don't think about it. We just assume that, whatever, because there is no job title to it or there is no payment to it. But that's not true. All of us have things that God has deposited in us. The problem is that half of the time we leave our own and we are pursuing somebody else's own. And the reality is that once you show up into a room where you're not supposed to be, you're already automatically number 2. There's nothing you can do about it. You're already number 2. So if you like hustle from now to 500 years, it's inside bush, right? So the goal is that you need to figure out what is the room that you're supposed to be in. One of the things that awareness has done for me is understanding what I'm really good at. So some of you that said you like solving problems, there are different types of problems. There's problem that is clear, and there's problem that is not clear. I like problem that is clear. If your problem is not clear, please go and clarify it first before you come to me, right? So you can start to even see that even in all the things that we do well, there are nuances to it. What you said about convincing people to do stuff is amazing. Because in the workplace, you end up fighting with egos. It's ironious that in the workplace we say, we are objective. No, half of the time we are dealing with egos, emotions, tied to deference. Don't be angry, sir. So So if you can move past that and get people to buy in, we need to make money from that. Thank you. All right, so everybody has some skill that they have, an ability that they do well. The next question is profitability. So of all the skills that you wrote down, if you had to take a guess, circle the one that you think people can pay for. Pastor, can I tell you they want to circle? Pastor Tayo, research. Not many people have patience for connecting the dots. It's amazing. But that's just my own selfish. Just try and circle the one you think people can pay for. Or if you don't know, think about the people that are currently benefiting from the skill that you have. Do you think they are willing to pay for it? And if you don't know, it's okay. That's why we're here together. And the reason why this is also important is that if I took this bottle of water, right, and I take it to Canada or US, and I try to put a premium on it, what are they likely to do? They will? This particular one, this Nestle one with the 2x4 color, what will happen? Will they buy? They will. Why? But they have water. Holy Spirit is inside. So we have to brand it differently. Thank you. That's the point I'm making. If I took this water the way it was to US, they would hiss at me. So this question too is important because if you don't understand the person that values what you have, you will just keep banging your head against the wall. And you'll be like, God, why me? So that is the second part. So we need to get this mindset that you have to sell to everybody is a flawed mindset. For those of you that follow me and hear some of the things I say, I talk about fitness a lot, but I usually qualify it with 9 to 5ers. I don't know if you've picked up on that. Because my experience working in the workplace and dealing with health puts me in a better position and makes me more authentic to help somebody that is currently doing 9 to 5. If an entrepreneur comes to me now and says fitness, yes, I can help, but you're not really my target audience. I don't understand the hustle of looking for money and funding in the midnight. And I might not be able to just speak to that, right? So even in this problem solving, who is best suited for your problem solving? Is it people that are just coming out of school? Is it people that are just starting something? It's not just, it can't just be that. Okay, so who wants to share what skill they can make money from? Who wants to try?
As an elder, I don't have to stand. Okay, so the things I wrote actually are, one, I am good at talking to people. It's very natural to me, especially people who have mental health issues. And so people come to me for counseling, especially on health matters. So I believe that on that second level, I can make money from it if I choose to.
No, that's actually, so basically you've qualified, when you say health, people that have health diagnosis, that doesn't look like there's any road in front. Okay. No, you have to qualify that because there are some health diagnoses that will tell you it's just we're seeing signs. But people are still doing whatever they want to do. But you know those health diagnoses that you stop and you're like, okay, everything that you've done in your life just becomes meaningless because of this. That would be a good qualifier. Because they are in a different space. The guy that still has, we are seeing signs, still has some sort of hope. But the guy that they've told that we've seen something that is either terminal or is the guy in headspace. And this is how we need to start to qualify our abilities. It cannot be general. The mistake in making it general is that it gets priced anyhow. Who wants to try again?
Well, Sikemi said that connecting the dots, helping people to connect the dots, so research. I don't mind if CNN can employ me as a political analyst. But interestingly, while you were talking, it struck me that if I'm asked to talk about politics, you know, the challenges and the way forward, I think I'm better at looking at politics from the international and global perspective. But I need to begin to research about Africa. You know, what's the political state of Africa and the challenges we have, and you know, nation building and all that. So that.
Amazing. And there are already people that are looking for your skill, right? You have a lot of media platforms that wants to host and invite, we call them guests, to talk about, April has connection, so she can show you. Arise TV, Channels TV, they're always looking for people to invite. At the beginning, there might not be honorarium, but over time, when you become really good at a particular thing, people pay to come and hear your views of stuff. And it doesn't take away from you being a Christian. If you remember the conversation that I had last year around Genesis 1:26, right? I think this notion that we're supposed to be quiet and not make a fuss, I think there's something about that notion that might not be 100% pure. If you find yourself in the workplace, if you find yourself in the secular world, you have a responsibility for people to stop and say, who is your God? And sometimes we need to leave this place to go and do that. Here we are very comfortable. We know that, okay, there's no way, Kenny can do anything funny to me. But for me, I feel like the true test of our fruit is when we go out to people that don't give two a hoot about you. And you still have to remember who you are. I had somebody buzz me yesterday and told me they were not happy with something that I did. But I knew what the problem was. It was that they agreed to it. So I suggested something and they agreed to it. And then 4 weeks later, they came back and they said they didn't like the fact that I made them do it. And so I said, what do they mean? And then they explained. And I could read between the lines that it wasn't that. It was because they don't have money now. So, but they won't come and tell you that they don't have money. We are wired not to be that vulnerable. So they now made it about the fact that I made them make a decision that now required them to bring out money on the 16th of February. And so all of a sudden, they're not happy with me. But on a normal day, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm a full-blown adult. But I was like, okay, there has to be more to this story. And so I was able to chill and say, okay, what would you prefer? And then we had a way forward. I'm just saying that the workplace is for me an evangelical ground for us. And the world needs us. And it's very clear now because all the movements that the spirit of this age has risen up is starting to collapse on itself. It's starting to collapse on itself. All of a sudden, gay people are saying they are not sure whether they are gay again. And there's confusion everywhere. Even the wokeness that has come into, the workplace around Gen Z. By the way, I'm a fan of Gen Z. But we've also oversold that and made them look incompetent. And now we don't have anybody in the workplace to do great work. So if we make up our minds that we're going to be excellent from today, money is going to come. Quote me. Because there are not even many people that are making effort to be excellent. And the world is looking for excellence. Okay, I'm back. Who wants to talk about one more skill that they want to sell? Okay.
Okay, so I like to travel and I like to make research about like places. So I'm this kind of person, even if I haven't been somewhere before and you just probably give me a country, just give me a few days, and if you're going there as a tourist, I can tell you what to do there, and it's kind of like I've been there before and I know exactly what to do. So sometime last year, my colleague was going to Paris for a work training, and then she was just telling me her plans, and I'm like, this your plan is not interesting at all. Let me draw you an itinerary. If you're going to Paris, you need to visit other countries in Europe and all of that. And I was talking, oh, this is what you need to do, and I've never been to Europe before. But I know, like, if I go to a country, I know exactly what to do and all of that. So I think that is something that can be monetized. Yes, like in drawing itineraries for people, ideas for what to do, and all of that. So yeah.
Please, where is the first place to pay? Like, and again, in our own part of the world, because traveling is not organic to us, right? We don't even think about those things. The most we do is probably drive to Osho State or drive to Abuja. So having somebody that has done the work, right? Having somebody that has done the work for me, and I can now enjoy my experience, is amazing. And we're going to go to the third part, which is identifying who cares about that thing.
Okay, so earlier I wrote that what I'm good at, teaching, researching, facilitating, and planning. Then what people come to me for, solutions, areas maybe in tech, specific areas. Then also what I find easy to do, teaching and cooking, and I think I can monetize that. So for teaching, you find parents. Okay, for a particular, in Nigeria right now, we have about 3 curriculums running in schools. We have American, British, and the normal Nigerian curriculum. And you have parents that have future for their children to study abroad. They would rather go for the British curriculum over the Nigerian ones. So I think those kind of parents would care about what I do.
I would care about that. Thank you. But then what I would recommend is that when you start to find those parents, understand what is it that would make it easy for them to say yes. What do I mean? So if you start up this business and you're making it a physical engagement where you come to their house, some people have concerns about you coming to my house. So try and also understand what are the things that may not make them say yes, and develop your own approach in a way that they say yes. So maybe you are doing online. Maybe you are doing a mix. Maybe you are going to their I don't know, I'm probably not saying it right. Maybe you are going to some neutral place where everybody feels comfortable. Maybe you are doing multiple children at the same time, so there's some sort of check and balance, stuff like that. That's also important. But yeah, amazing. Teaching is not easy because, especially in 2025, we have so much information and people are dumber. Do you see the problem there? No, I'm not joking. No. Like, if you type anything now, information abounds. Yeah, people are not informed. That means that there is a gap of synthesizing information into a way that people can consume. And when you now add TikTok to it that has trained us to take things in 30 seconds and less, there is now a pandemic because people are not smart. I don't know how else to say it. Even the things that people talk about on shows, I'm like, you can go and Google. They are like straightforward things. I'm in the fitness world, and I know how confusing the information is. Don't eat past this time. Don't this. And sometimes when people tell me what they are doing, I'm like, how does that even sound to you? Someone started working out 3 times a week. She started running. And so anytime you start doing healthy habits, I always celebrate you. So I was like, good job. And next thing she comes, she was like, I'm not worried, though, that what am I going to be doing on the other days that I'm not running? I'm like, I'm confused. They are called rest days. What do you want to be doing? So I'll not do anything on those. I said, Mom, you went from 0 days to 3 days. That, for me, is a thumbs up in my book. Why are you trying to? But because the narration has said, there's some assumption that if you don't work out every day, you are going to gain weight. Meanwhile, exercise is not what makes you gain weight. It's your diet. You can't out-exercise a bad diet. If you like, die in the gym. If you come back home and you surround yourself with a mountain of food, nothing. I'm sitting there, I'll tell you that one for free. Free? In fact, let me even make it worse. If you don't deal with sleep and you are constantly stressed, now you might lack sleep, but you might not be stressed. So let me qualify that because I know you're always talking about versatile. You might lack sleep, but you might not be stressed. You might just be like, okay, we're going through life. But some people are chronically stressed. Every 2 minutes, once they sit down now, they've nodded off. Any smoke, they've nodded. Can we? Okay, let me not touch this one. But so bottom line is that whatever skill you want to do, please make sure that you find the right person. And that brings us to the last part of this session, which is the opportunities part, right? Can you write down 2 places where your skill will be most valuable? The one that you circled in step 2. 2 places or 2 peoples or 2 categories of customers that will pay for what you have. If you're going to teach, look at the type of parents that will care about it. Is it parents that are on the island or parents that are on the mainland? There's a difference. All right? For the travel people, is it the guys that have never traveled before that will benefit from this itinerary, or people that they've been traveling for the last 10 years? And then you position yourself as the consultant of first-time travelers. Different. No confusion. Right? For politics is, yes, I know we already have normal TV, what's it called, but one of the things I find interesting about politics is that we that were in the 9 to 5 were completely clueless about politics. We don't know jack. We just go with the flow. It's when they want to vote that we'll now be shouting up and down. But if you ask us for what politics is, all this government, this thing, we don't know jack. It was when shame caught me in 2020 that I went to join electoral college and I went to learn politics 101. But the things they taught me, I'm not sure if I remember. But now I know what local government is, and I know my local government chairman. So progress. So you find out that maybe the politics is not even for the people that are already fighting. Maybe it's for the people that genuinely want to contribute to the political landscape of Nigeria, but they're just clueless. I think that was the problem I had. I didn't know how to help. And the only option they gave me was to go outside and be fighting and be raising placard. And there was something about that did not work for me. But I wanted to be able to impact my local government, but understand how to do that. So maybe it could just be a different category of people. Yeah. Okay. So 2 opportunities. Who wants to share? 2 people that can pay for what you have. Okay.
Just to I'll just start with dummies who can pay for, I would totally pay for it. I think busy professionals that want to travel or plan a vacation, but they never have the time to be able to, plan it. So I think that's really our audience, and it's really a big thing. People charge even in foreign currency just to pay curators for all of those. Now, for me, I think solving problems, I think aspiring HNIs, and I also think business owners.
For business owner, what's the scale of the business? Small, medium, large? Or the Instagram people? So while I like that, it's also wide. So this is how I want you guys to answer the question of who can pay. If you posted on your WhatsApp and you say, I'm looking for this person that has this person, blah, 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 I must immediately say, Sade is your customer. It needs to be that clear. So if you do all sectors, there is a danger of me being confused as to what you are best suited for. But if you start with a sector, for example, and you say food business, I help food business owners solve Nigerian problem or logistic problem. Very clear. I know who to go and drag in my contact. So that level of clarity also helps. But when you make it too general, right, then there's a chance of people just not understanding who you're best suited for. Does anybody want to share on this side? Thank you.
Thank you. I believe professional athletes will be able to pay for my service, and sport agencies generally. The skill is legal analysis in the sports world.
Thank you. So they take advantage of them, especially when they are upcoming. Thank you. Do you know, I even thought you were going to say coach, because there's a skill that allows you to not consider people's emotions. If you are too soft and you want to be a coach for a professional athlete, there's a level of, no, I don't care what you think. Again, I believe in you. Again. Because some people will be like, I'm about to die. I'll be like, hey, yeah, the person's about to die. Maybe that's not the, what's it called for you. I'm just trying to call out some of those very nuanced, very small, they look really small, but people make money from it. There's a guy that makes 2,500 pounds per hour. For what he does is that when factories get burnt, he's the one that goes there and assesses the damage and then recommends to the insurance company what kind of insurance is applicable for this situation before they go and collect all their money for insurance. Have you seen how simple this is? So there is the person that paid for insurance, there is the insurance company. But there is a problem with that because they just raise a claim and these people don't know enough about it to challenge the claim and they are paying out of pocket. And this guy sat in the middle and he says, I'm going to go first. I understand both parties and I'm going to now present a value that works. And he gets his cut. Who will have thought about that? Who will have thought about that? Okay. So to put it together and to make it more actionable for us, if you know anybody that already works in your space, legal space, or problem-solving space, please go ahead and ask them from tomorrow. There's no need to wait. For Gbemi, you can ask Pastor Sheyi what problems he needs to solve as an entrepreneur, for example, and he will tell you. For Dami, ask people that are busy what kind of package. That is, let's start. There's no need to wait for when you register a company. Start engaging with the people that, for teachers, for parents, find parents that are here, they're already having kids, that they want to travel out, and just engage them to understand what kind of service would they need in that area. And that's it, right? So last thing for me is I want us to build a I will statement. Just to keep us accountable. So I want us to write a statement for the next 30 days. I call it an action plan statement. So this is what I want us to write. In the next 30 days, media team, are you able to help me project just that slide? The one that has the final, that will be the second to the last slide. Just so that it's easier for people to see. So you want to build an action plan for us? Yes, thank you. So can we write this and say, in the next 30 days, I'm going to use my skill in legal advisory to generate or explore more money, more impact, more proficiency. Sometimes maybe you just want to use it to even build your own capability before you monetize it. By tapping into which opportunity. I want to explore into parents, I want to explore into sports people, I want to explore into different things. Right? Do we have that? Yeah, I know I'm putting a lot on us, but hopefully some of these things helped. Please, can you go to the last slide? That's it. That's the end for me. So this is what I want to leave us with, right? You don't need more skills. Everybody here is probably at the minimum 25, 20-something. And a lot of us are 30s, 40s, and 50s. You've spent a long time building skills. You don't need more. This is not the year to be saying, I want to go and collect more. The one that you have, how are you using it to be more productive? Because it takes time to build skills. I hope you guys know what an ability is. I can't do what Buki does. As much as I can carry some tune, I can't do what she does because she's been doing it for years. It would be so silly of me to now come here and say I want to be a gospel singer. How? From where? But I know the one I've been doing for years. I can do fitness. And I can do productivity. That one you cannot take it from me, right? So that's what I want to leave us with. And thank you for your time. All right.